All right, guys. Fights just wrapped up. Great week in Vegas, but also a great stream we just had. Y'all will never make me hate Canelo. El Rey de Boxeo. And still. And still. It was a good fight. Um, pretty much close to what my prediction was. Like I said, I thought that Canelo would be able to get him out of there. I was thinking ninth or 10th round. Um, I thought that, you know, similar to Javante Tank Davis, these are two guys that download. Those first one, two, three, even 4 rounds usually is just downloading. They're just processing what you're doing and they're just, kind of getting started. And then once they really turn it on, they're going to walk you down. And once they realize that they don't respect your power, it's really gone. And that's what happened in this fight. That's exactly what happened. The first round I gave to Munguia. Second round maybe gave to Munguia. Third round possibly gave to Munguia. Well, the first 3 rounds I could see you going either way. I would definitely give one. One is for sure Munguia. 2 and 3 were kind of a toss up. I would probably give Munguia at least one of those. So I'd give him 2 rounds there. In the fourth round, he gets dropped with an uppercut. He was leaning his head forward a lot in this fight. It was initiating, there were times where they would go forehead to forehead and they would, start exchanging. Canelo would land some body shots when they would go forehead to forehead. That was initiated really by Munguia for most of the fight. He was ducking, and that's exactly where Canelo was able to land that uppercut, puts him down. A couple moments in the fight, he was hurting him, and it just seemed like a typical Canelo fight. The other guy is able to land their volume, but when Canelo starts landing power shots and starts to walk you down and starts to realize that he doesn't respect your power, it's just one way traffic. Canelo knew that after one or two rounds, he knew Munguia wasn't going to hurt him. Munguia tried to attack with the volume. He didn't throw as much volume as I expected because you know I knew that he wasn't going to be able to do. You're not going to one punch Canelo. His chin is literally Hall of Fame chin. You're not going to one punch him. So you got to throw volume like Bivol did. You got to either be a defensive genius like Floyd, or you have to just attack with volume like Bivol. Especially Canelo in his later years, he doesn't throw as much volume. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's in the 20, 30, 40 punch per round range. If you want to beat Canelo and you don't have one punch power, you gotta throw 60, 70, 80 punches around. That's the only way you're going to beat Canelo, and it just wasn't working. Munguia can land 10 punches, Canelo lands one, and the Canelo one punch has more effect than the 10 punches that Munguia just landed. After the fourth round, he drops him. He pretty much cruises the rest of the fight. I had Canelo winning 4, 5, 6, 7. Eighth round, Munguia kind of had a bit of a surge. 8, 9, and 10, he kind of did a little bit better from 8, 9, and 10. Maybe would give him one of those rounds, but for the most part, Canelo continued to dominate all the way through to the 12th round, where there was a bit of a strange moment. It looked like Canelo hurt Munguia. Munguia kind of stumbled back on the ropes, and then Canelo, um, they were kind of clinching, but not really tight clinching. And Canelo could have easily broken and started unloading. But he kind of just like looked like glanced into the crowd and smiled, and it was almost like a respect moment where he seemed like he kind of could have gone for it if this was really like a blood feud and he really wanted to hurt him and really wanted to go for it. He maybe could have finished him in that moment or maybe some earlier moments as well. But it looked like he showed some respect for a fellow Mexican fighter and didn't go for the kill in that moment. Munguia is very tough, and maybe he knew that he wasn't gonna be able to just knock him out cold, and he didn't want to risk gassing out. But I think if Canelo really applied pressure and really wanted to get him out of there, he maybe could have just by TKO, even if he's not able to sleep him. Solid win for Canelo though. Still reigns supreme. People say he's washed. People say he's sliding. People say he's not as good as he used to be. I mean, everybody ages, but Canelo is still one of the top fighters in the world, top pound for pound fighters in the world. And moving on to what's next for him, immediately they ask about Benavidez. Benavidez was in the crowd on camera. You could see him the whole fight. Benavidez is right there in frame. And hey, like I said, Y'all will never make me hate Canelo. You'll never make me hate Canelo. But didn't love his reply. Even though his reply is valid. He says, I don't know, I'm gonna rest. And when he says I don't know, the crowd starts to boo, as they do. And Canelo responds and said, everybody wants to fight me, everybody wants to come see me. I'm the guy everybody wants, but I don't need to prove anything. I've fought whoever. He named Floyd and a couple other people. He said, I've fought whoever for all these years. Don't act like I'm scared of anybody. And then he kind of gets the crowd back and they cheer. And I respect that, and I think that that's true. I think that Canelo's earned the right to accept whatever fight he wants, and he's not, inclined to fight Benavidez. But once we get to a certain point, the fans are going to start turning on him because it is starting to look like a duck. And me, honestly, I think that it's not like a foregone conclusion that Benavidez beats Canelo. I think Canelo could beat Benavidez, but some of the answers that he's been given about Benavidez is a little bit different than when he's asked about other people. So maybe there's something that he sees that he doesn't want to fight Benavidez, and I respect it. But if you guys think that Canelo's ducking Benavidez, and if you guys are mad at him for ducking Benavidez, I honestly can't argue with you because, there is a lot of evidence that would kind of substantiate that. But much love to Canelo. Still the guy at 168. I think next for him, besides Benavidez, who even is there? Bud Crawford's coming up to 150, I think 154 now, trying to get a belt there. Maybe that'll legitimize that Bud can, carry a higher weight. Maybe they could be in the middle at 160. If he really just doesn't want to fight Benavidez, that could be an option. Canelo doesn't get much out of that, fighting a smaller guy and beating up on a smaller guy. But that could be a potential fight with Crawford. Besides that, who else is at 168? The other, he could fight the other Charlo. Everybody's kind of sour on the Charlos after his performance, and then after Caleb Plants, slapped the other Charlo. It's like nobody is really too high on the Charlos right now. He could. I don't know. Who do y'all think should be next for Canelo? Should he stay at 168? Should he go after Bivol at 175? Should he go after fucking Benavidez? Whoever wins that fight. Should he go after the winner of that? Should he keep going after 175? Should he chill at 168? If he stays at 168, who else is left to fight him besides Charlo and maybe a couple others? Who is really exciting besides Benavidez at 168? Let me know what y'all think. I don't think we'll ever see him any lower than that, 160, 154. Even 160 for a Terrence Crawford fight. If they offered him that, I don't think Canelo budges. He might make Crawford come up even higher than that because 160 he hasn't fought at 160 in a while. But yeah, man. I wanted to see if they would let Oscar get closer to Canelo in the post fight because that's the real money fight right there. I guarantee in 10 to 15 years on some random, Triller card, we're going to see 50, 60-year-old Oscar versus mid-40s Canelo. They're going to fight, bro. They got to fight. They got to fight one of these days. They got to get that out. There's no way that they're not going to fight sometime. They're around each other way too much. Canelo's, Oscar seems to be headline or promoting or near the fights every time. They can't avoid each other. They're going to fight, and I can't wait. And it's going to be very, very toxic, and I cannot wait to see it. Shout out to everybody that I met in Vegas this week. It was a great fight week. The Mexican fans, like I said, are one of a kind. They always show love. They're so passionate. The weigh-ins was amazing. Amazing turnout. People were out there at 10 o'clock. It was rumored to start at 1, but it actually started at 12. But there were people out there at 10 o'clock, packed. So shout out to all the fans I met this week. Shout out everybody. The next fight stream we're probably going to do is, I don't think there's anything big next week. As far as UFC or boxing, I don't think there's anything big next. I know Tank Fight's coming up soon. Yeah, nothing big next week. But the following week after that is going to be Usyk versus Tyson Fury. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Thank you guys. Appreciate whoever watched.